there's nothing that incites the ire of people faster than housing initiatives, which is a shame because we're 3.2 million units short of the housing we need in this country. Luckily, ADUs have been on a major upward trajectory. Even so, not everyone is all that excited about ADUs. In fact, I received an email from a very upset homeowner recently, which ended with this sentence: "Telling people this is a great idea is despicable. It's ruining older neighborhoods left and right. Shame on you." Okay, she didn't wag her finger at me, but in my mind, I was imagining that. So let's unpack that a little bit. Problem number one, overcrowding and the end of single-family neighborhoods. A lot of people hear increased housing density and immediately get into a panic mode, envisioning bustling loud traffic that threatens their quiet suburban surroundings. But let's be clear about something. Suburban expansion has a massive impact on the planet. Not only does it tend to result in larger homes that require more energy to heat, and that energy is provided by natural gas burning at the site of the home, then this too would lead to more emissions, but also the impact of homeowners' commutes to their work. In fact, 28% of greenhouse gases is the result from transportation. So increased density, especially in urban neighborhoods with access to public transportation, eliminates urban sprawl, it cuts down on emissions, and ADUs are inherently a greener and more sustainable form of housing because of their smaller size and footprint, and their rigorous conformity to Title 24 regulations. So that feels like a win-win to me. In fact, adding extra homes where there's plenty of underutilized space is just what California needs in the midst of this housing shortage. Problem number two, parking problems. NIMBYs love to bring up the issue of around parking as an argument against any kind of development. So let's chat about parking. My personal feeling is that housing for human beings should be prioritized over housing for cars. And a big complaint we hear is that converting garages will mean that there's more cars on the streets. If you've lived in California for any length of time, you've probably noticed that no one uses their garage for their cars. They use it for storage. First, ADUs are small homes that are usually meant to house only one or two people, not large families. So odds are one extra car on your street likely won't make that big of a difference. In fact, John Shaw, a strategic advisor with the Seattle Department of Construction and Inspection, who focuses on parking impacts, said, "The likelihood of car ownership decreases as the house size gets smaller." This is especially true in urban neighborhoods with easy access to public transit. Third, ADUs are incremental housing, so you might notice 1, 2, 3 of them built in your neighborhood over the course of a few years, which gives everyone lots of time to absorb that impact. Finally, remember that homeowners can add parking whether it's required of them or not, and that's always an option. Problem number 3, a decrease in property values. ADUs actually increase your property value. Think about it. When it comes time to sell your home, you'll have plenty of interested buyers that would love the flexibility or the additional income that an ADU generates. In fact, in a recent Maxable study, homeowners stated the ability to add an ADU to a property was a huge selling point for them. A study done by the Appraisal Journal found that ADUs generally contributed 25 to 34% of a property's assessed value. Furthermore, adding an ADU demonstrated an average of 51% increase in resale value. Of course, do your own research as trends are going to differ by neighborhood. Problem number 4, construction is loud and messy. It's true. For 4 or 5 months, your street will be noisier and more parked up than normal. And if you have an experienced general contractor, they should know how to keep noise and clutter to a minimum, like setting a building schedule when the neighbors will be away and at work, and renting a fence to prevent debris from drifting into lawns. We've had plenty of clients loop their neighbors into their plans as a courtesy or even to get their buy-in. My mom used to bake bread to give to the neighbors, and you'd be amazed at how far a gesture like that can go. Even still, you may still have some cranky neighbors on your hands, but as long as you've followed the regulations and you have your building permit, there's nothing that they can do to prevent your project from happening. Problem number 5, ADUs are expensive to build. So building any home is going to be expensive, but when you look at your return on investment, the numbers likely won't seem so scary anymore. One of our clients, Josh, is from Los Angeles, and he's building a 600 square foot, 1-bedroom ADU. It's a standalone unit in his backyard, and the total cost of the project is projected to be $160,000. Okay, don't panic yet. Hear me out. So after doing some quick research, Josh found out that a 1-bedroom apartment in his neighborhood rents for about $1,600. Now let's assume he takes out a loan for the full $160K. After he subtracts his monthly loan payment, he'll be netting an extra $900 a month. Not bad. In fact, that's pretty amazing cash flow. What if you're not using the ADU for a rental though, and instead you're using it for a family member? You're still in luck. Although you're not raking in all those big bucks by renting, you're actually saving a substantial amount by not putting your elderly loved one in an assisted living facility. So let's look at San Jose. Over a 10-year period, you can expect to pay an average of $600,000 to house your loved one. Ugh. Why do that when you can keep your loved ones close in your own backyard in a home designed and custom built just for them? ADU regulations are confusing. This is true. ADU regulations are confusing. They're constantly updating and they're in flux. And with so many changes happening within the last year, it can be really hard to keep track of it all. But Maxable can provide you with all of the information, the resources, and the guidance that you need to complete your project. In fact, our head of design and co-founder, Jared Basler, yeah, he's the one with the beard, has designed and permitted over 100 ADUs and has been involved in the state regulations and local ordinances that have made building an ADU easier on your property. If you want personalized help with your project from our experienced team, start by clicking the link below and we'll send you a free ADU toolkit.